How did your parents damage you beyond repair? They convinced me I was their miracle baby for 16 years. Then I found the adoption papers and discovered they'd been lying about literally everything, including the fact that I had 3 biological siblings they'd deliberately separated me from. My parents, Linda and Mark, told everyone I was their miracle child. They'd tried for years to get pregnant, then finally had me when Mom was 42. They made my origin story sound magical. You were worth the wait, Mom would say. God saved the best for last. I was their perfect, precious only child. They gave me everything, told me constantly how special I was, how I'd made their dreams come true. But there were always weird inconsistencies. No baby pictures from the hospital. Mom claimed they were lost in a mood. No stories about pregnancy cravings or labor pain, just vague mentions about how difficult it was to bring me into the world. When I asked about family medical history for a school project, they got nervous and changed the subject. At 16, I needed my birth certificate for a passport application. Mom kept making excuses about not being able to find it. Finally, I went to the county records office myself and requested a copy. That's when I found out the truth. My birth certificate listed different parents entirely. Linda and Mark had adopted me when I was 6 months old, but that wasn't the worst part. I dug deeper and found the adoption record. I had been born to a teenage mother who already had 3 children she couldn't care for. All 4 of us had been placed for adoption through the same agency. My 3 siblings, 2 brothers and a sister, had been adopted by different families. The agency had specifically split us up, claiming it was better for placement opportunities. Linda and Mark had known about my sibling and chosen to adopt only me. When I confronted them with the documents, they broke down crying. "We wanted you to feel special," Linda sobbed. "We didn't want you to feel like you were missing anything." "What about my brothers and sister?" I asked. "We thought it would be too confusing, too complicated. We wanted you to be ours completely." The betrayal was crushing. Not just the lies about my birth, but the fact that they deliberately kept me from my siblings. I found my biological siblings through the adoption agency. Maria was 18, living 2 states away. Danny was 20, and Jake was 17. We started talking online, and the connection was immediate. We looked alike, had similar personalities, even the same laugh. They'd all grown up knowing about me, but had been told I was placed with a family who didn't want contact. My adoptive parents had specifically requested a closed adoption with no sibling contact. For 16 years, my brothers and sister had wondered about their baby brother who disappeared. When I told Linda and Mark I wanted to meet my siblings, they panicked. "They're strangers," Mark said. "We're your real family." But they weren't strangers. When I finally met Maria, Danny, and Jake, it felt like finding missing pieces of myself. We all had the same nervous habit of picking at our fingernails. We all loved spicy food and hated horror movies. Danny and I both played guitar. Maria and I both wrote poetry. The connection was instant and real in a way that my relationship with Linda and Mark had never been. Linda and Mark had stolen 16 years of sibling relationships from all of us because they wanted to pretend I was their biological miracle child. They'd built their entire identity as parents on a lie. And when the truth came out, they couldn't handle losing control of the narrative. I moved in with my sister Maria for my senior year of high school. Linda and Mark barely speak to me now, claiming I chose strangers over family. But they're wrong. I didn't choose strangers over family. I chose my real family over people who had been lying to me my entire life. The damage isn't that they adopted me.